It is my last video of 2023. Looking forward to 2024. I thank each and every one of you that has watched my channel, liked, commented, lurked, whatever the case is. I appreciate every one of you guys on my channel. Hopefully more of you guys could stick around for the upcoming year. Going out on a limb, I think it's going to be a pretty good year around here. In today's video, I'm going to give each ball club's New Year's resolutions from your very own young stud. Let's get into the video. We are going to lead things off with the Washington Nationals, and what is their New Year's resolution? It's seeing the prospects continue to develop. Now, this Nationals team to me is doing a phenomenal job in their rebuild. It's just about continuing that rebuild and seeing new prospects come up and continue to develop at a really high level. The Chicago White Sox, for me, it's just don't suck. Try not to suck if you're the Chicago White Sox. They tend to flop on their face quite often, and so for me, don't suck in 2024. For the Toronto Blue Jays, it's winning around. So this Blue Jays team is entering win around territory. Like, I think this is the year they have to win around. I think it's been since like 2016 since they last won around. So the Blue Jays get a lot of hype, overrated at times. The Mariners, it's no mediocre. The Mariners tend to be a mediocre team quite often. Again, they were in a long playoff drought of their own recently. They finally broke the streak. The AL West was won with 90 wins, and the Mariners couldn't get to that feat, so they were close, they were in it, but they couldn't get there even with 90 wins. Cleveland Guardians, it's finding an identity. What is this team's identity? Terry Francona decided to retire. They bring in Stephen Vogt, a catcher, as a big league manager, and so we'll see what Stephen Vogt brings to the table for Cleveland, but it's about finding that identity with the Guardians. For the Milwaukee Brewers, for me, it's got to be all in or are you rebuilding? Like, pick a side here. Do not be in the middle. Go all in or go all out. Like, don't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Milwaukee needs to find what they want to do. If they're going to go for it, go for it. If they're not going to go for it, start trading away players. For the Tampa Bay Rays, going to be breaking new ground on their stadium. So the Rays desperately need a new stadium. They're one of two teams who are in dire need of a new stadium. If Tampa Bay can get the boots on the ground this year, I think that'll be a win for that franchise. Cincinnati Reds, the Reds are in that territory where it's about making the playoffs. I know they made it in 2020, but besides 2020, it's been a really long time coming, and the Reds need to make the playoffs. If you're a Cincinnati fan, the pieces are there. It's about putting the pieces to the puzzle together. I think they could do it, and so the Reds, it's playoffs. Resolution for Miami Marlins, well, fans. I hate to be super harsh about the Marlins, but for me, it's getting fans in the building. I really don't like seeing Marlins Park empty all the time. Would love to see that building full as it was for the WBC. Just never liked that for a Marlins game, so for me, get the fans in the stands. St. Louis Cardinals always seem to be a team in dire needs of starting pitching or pitching in general. The Cardinals seem to always have a pretty good offense, and they always seem to lack pretty good pitching. This offseason kind of continued to be the cardinal way of mediocrity on the pitching side of things. For the San Diego Padres, it is a fresh start, and it seems like the Padres need a fresh start every 2 years, but once again, getting another crack at a fresh start, bringing a new manager. We'll see what the Padres can do this year. Wishing them all the best in their ventures in trying to regain winning culture and getting off to a good start in 2024. For the D-backs, it's about repeating 2023. Arizona had a Cinderella run all the way to the World Series, and if I'm Arizona, I want an exact repeat carbon copy of 2023. The Rockies seem to be that one irrelevant team in the National League West. In Coors Field in Colorado, always selling out, and show up in droves there in Colorado, watch the Rockies baseball, even if they're super bad. So you got to give up to the Rockies fans. They really do love baseball up there. But it's about fielding a winning team. Can this team get to 81 wins? I think that's a really high mark for them at this point, but that would be the goal for me, or the resolution is 81 wins, maybe even 70 wins, 75. For the Pittsburgh Pirates, it's going to be playoffs for me or bust. Again, these are the territories where we're getting to teams where they just do not make the playoffs or haven't made the playoffs in a really long time. For the Buccos, make the postseason. That has to be the goal from spring training. The Braves need to avoid the Phillies at all costs in the postseason. That is my New Year's resolution for the Atlanta Braves. Just avoid playing the Phillies in the postseason. The Cubbies, I think a realistic New Year's resolution for the Chicago Cubs is winning this division. Like, this division isn't good. Central divisions are pretty mediocre at best. The Cubs can easily win this division if they put it all together. I'm sure they will, but the Cubs, I think a New Year's resolution or a goal for 2024 is to win that division. The Detroit Tigers are also in postseason territory or bust. This team hasn't made the playoffs since a really long time now. It's about making the postseason. They are post-Miggy era. Let's see how they perform post-Miggy era. It was low-key sneaky good last year, and don't be surprised if they find the way into the postseason this year. I'm going to repeat myself once again with the Anaheim Angels. It's about making the postseason. This seems to be a challenge for them. The ultimate challenge for them is to make the postseason, and they can't do it every year. They fail every single year. So this year, once again, it's about making the postseason. That is a New Year's resolution for a fan of Anaheim. For the San Francisco Giants, it's about bringing that Melvin magic. So Bob Melvin seems to be an underrated manager. He got kicked to the curb there with the Padres, goes up back home to the Bay Area, and now with the Giants' dream team of managing, and let's see if you can bring that Bay Area magic to the Giants. For the Minnesota Twins, it is also kind of like the Mariners, kind of lingering around mediocre territory, but they've been a little bit more successful as far as getting to the postseason, becoming a really good team. The team seems to be a doormat to the next round most of the time. Nobody really sees the Twins as a scary team. Pretty simple for the Mets going into 2024. It's about do not met in 2024. This team metted pretty hard in 2023. I have no idea what to expect out of the Mets. Maybe just some mediocre 81 wins. That might be what's on the table for the Mets in 2024. Right now, to Met. The Kansas City Royals also are the last team for me on this list to make the postseason. This team hasn't made it in a while since their last World Series win. Last time we saw Kansas City in the postseason. Can they finally make the postseason in 2024? New Year's resolution for the defending World Series champion Texas Rangers. You'd be similar to Arizona. Repeat 2023. Can the Rangers become the first team to repeat in over 20 years? For my Los Angeles Dodgers, what is their New Year's resolution? Well, after a phenomenal offseason, I gotta once again give it up for the Dodgers. I have it down as NLDS here because the NLDS seems to give the Dodgers fits of recent years. Going back to 2021, I know they won that series against San Francisco, but it was at the very last second, which was awesome. But back-to-back NLDS losses, can they get over the NLDS hump and propel them to bigger and better things? For the Houston Astros, it's about taking back Texas, and the Astros take Texas back. You know what? They were the kings of Texas. All the Rangers got that spotlight back, and I'm sure the Astros fans are not super happy about that. So can they take back Texas in 2024? New York Yankees, this one might be a little bit of a higher watermark to reach, but it's about World Series. I mean, we're talking about the Yankees here. It's been so long. They have a relatively good team. I do wonder about the starting pitching, but it's World Series or bust for the Yankees. I don't know what else to put. Baltimore Orioles had a Cinderella run of their own in the American League last year. Winning over 100 games. It's about not regressing super hard in 2024. I would expect there to be some regression. I would be completely shocked if they win more than 101 games this year. So I'll take the under 101. For the Philadelphia Phillies, we always hear about Red October. Well, what about Red November? Phillies seem to get far in October, but never far enough to raise the Commissioner's Trophy. So can the Phillies bring it home in November in the Fall Classic? For the Oakland A's, one last cry for the fans for selling the team. That's the New Year's resolution this year, because there really isn't much to look forward to if you're an Athletics fan besides where is this team going to be playing at in a few years. We do not really know to what extent at all at this point. There's no renderings of the Vegas ballpark. One last hurrah for selling the team. And finally, last but not least, the Boston Red Sox. It's about consistency. This Red Sox team is super strange over the last couple of decades. They win World Series and they finish last place. They make the postseason in a few years and they go to last place. So it's about just being consistent. That is going to do it, guys, on this video. I do appreciate you guys once again. Happy New Year to everybody. I look forward to seeing you in 2024.